Hello stampers and crafters, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah McGuire from Sassy Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and today's project is this one. How cute is this for Christmas? I got inspired by the Humble Home Bundle, which includes this photopolymer stamp set and coordinating paper punch to make this cute little gingerbread house. And today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make this card. So if you'd like to see that, please keep watching. So to start our card, we are going to be using the Humble Home Bundle from Stampin' Up. This is a 14 stamp photopolymer stamp set, and the bundle includes the coordinating paper punch, which punches out the house shapes, and then also has a little area for the windows and a little tiny heart and a little circle there, which could be used to punch out a tag to make it a gift tag, however you'd like. So I think that circle, whoops, I used a die for this one, but that circle does kind of line up with that. So you could punch out a gift tag for that. So for our card today, I'm going to set that aside. We're going to be using some designer series paper. We're going to do a little bit of coloring. Let's start with our stamping first. I have all my supplies here. So we're going to need a piece for our house, and then I want to make sure that's big enough. Looks a little bit small, so I'm going to grab another piece of basic white there, and that is for later. I'm just going to set that aside. We're going to start off with our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Because I'm going to be using Stampin Blends, you don't want to use StazOn just because it could bleed and blend the colors in a way that you don't want them to blend. So Memento works great with the alcohol-based markers. I'm just inking up our little gingerbread house here, just like that. And then if you want to see other projects using this bundle, they are on my blog, sassypapercrafts.com, as well as all the supplies and measurements for this card. So we're going to be using a few blends. I have Pecan Pie, Shaded Spruce, Daffodil Delight, and Real Red. Now our Stampin' Blends come in a combo pack, so you get both light and dark in the combo pack. Let's start off with Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to start with the light first and the brush tip end. I'm just going to go around like this eaves trough, whatever you want to call that. Just going to go around it. I'm going to keep that white, almost like icing on the gingerbread house. So I'm going to try really, really hard not to color in those little scallops. And then I'm just going to color the rest of it in this pecan pie color. So now we have one coat of the light down. I'm going to go in with the dark, and I'm just going to do a little bit of shading. I'm not going to get too into it just because, I mean, I want a little bit of shading on the house, but I want other things about our card to stand out more besides the coloring. I am going to go over the door because I just want that door to pop a little bit more as well. I don't want it to look like it's all the same color as the house. And then I'm going to go back in with the light and just blend them. I'm going to go over the little doodad design here. Again, trying super, super hard not to color in anything I don't want colored in. There's a piece there by the window that wasn't colored hardly at all. So, and then go over that door again with the light. And that looks good to me. So now we're done with the pecan pie. We're going to use the Daffodil Delight on just the inside part of the windows. And I'm going in with the light and just starting there. And then I'm going to do the outside and use the fine tip end to go around. So it's kind of lighter in the middle. And then we're going to go in with the real red, and this is light. When I use the light one first, oops, and I forgot the chimney, so I have to go back over that. And for the real red, all I'm doing is just this top part of the roof, and I am using the fine tip end. I just feel like the brush is too wide and bulky for this. Trying to be super careful. And we do have a color lifter if you do get it on a spot you don't want it. I just find that with red especially, it's a little bit harder. Yellows are kind of easy to pick up. The red for me anyway has been a little tricky. So that was light real red. I want to make sure it's closed. For some reason it's not giving me that click to tell me it's closed. There it goes. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with the dark again with that fine tip, and just to make it that real red color. And then I gotta redo our chimney here because I forgot about it. And for the chimney, just to give it a little bit of a depth of color, I did just use the light, and I just kind of did a little circle there to give it some type of dimension. So that is it for the house. Now, I know we didn't use shaded spruce. That is what we're using on the wreath. So I have the little wreath here. We're going to stamp in Memento. Just right there is fine. And then I'm going to take the light shaded spruce and the fine tip end. And I'm just going to color around that bow. Doesn't have to be super perfect because I'm going back in with the dark. So any like little white spots you may have missed, you can go over them now. And then we're going to color that bow. Oh, there's a little spot up there that I want green. And now I'm just going to go over the bow with the dark real red. And there is no punch or anything for the wreath. I just fussy cut it out. And my fussy cutting skills are getting better, but practice is what you need. And I'm just taking the scissors. My biggest tip when you're fussy cutting is to keep the scissors still and move the paper. So that is what I'm doing. We're just going to cut this out. I'm probably going to speed this part up just a little. So we have our wreath. Now we have one more piece of stamping, and for that I'm going to use real red, and we're going to do our sentiment. So for the front of the card, I just went with a simple Merry Christmas, and that is part of the stamp set. Now we're going to die cut that using the Nested Essentials dies. And then for the inside of our card, I just have a piece of basic white that is cut 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside. I'm going to use the From Our House to Yours. And you could even switch those around and put this part on the front and put Merry Christmas on the inside. I just thought that was super cute. And that is it for stamping. So let me show you the die I'm using. We're going to be using a little bit of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So these are the Nested Essentials dies. I'm going to be using the second smallest of the banners here for the Merry Christmas. And then for our background, I'm using the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. This embossing folder is massive. I really enjoy it. I like that it's so big. You could do several different pieces at once. And I'm just going to take an outside piece is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Again, all the measurements and supplies I've used are on my blog. We're just going to lay that in there. And then I'm just going to run this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm going to do our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine work, some die cutting, some embossing, clean up my stamps, and then I will show you how to put this card together. So all our pieces are ready to go, except for our house. I forgot to punch it out, so I'm going to use our paper punch here. I'm just going to line it up in the punch. And oops, I made it too small. So I used too small of a piece of paper. I'm going to show you a little trick for that. What I like to do is just take a Post-it note, and I have them just off to the side of my desk. And I like to put it on there, and then you can hold it and slide that in. And you can wiggle it around and move it. It's just my little trick for if you want to use a smaller piece of paper for your paper punch. And then you just pop that out. Got a couple of little random pieces here. And then it is good to go. And then I usually just toss that. So now we're going to put everything together. Before we do that, though, I want to get some embellishments ready. So I didn't really have a real red embellishment, but I knew I wanted to make it real red, so I used rhinestones. I have 2 done already, but we need to do the 3rd one, so I just kept out my dark real red Stampin' Blend and just the brush tip end, and you can just color around it. And I'm even going to go over these ones again, I think, and it just takes them a second to dry, but I'm going to do this before we put our stuff together, just so it can dry while I'm working. So set that aside. I have a pecan pie card base. Again, all the measurements and the supplies I use are on my blog. And the Forever Plaid embossed piece. Now, how cool is that? And you can sponge this with a little color if you want. You could add color to your embossing folder. That is always fun. I'm going to grab some liquid glue for this. And this is the Sentimental Christmas Designer Series paper. This is new in the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog, September to December mini catalog. I do like that side too. That's very cute with the little fawn and the birds. We're going to be using the snowflakes. I just thought that was cute, and it reminded me of gingerbread. So I'm going to just add a little bit of liquid glue, and I like the liquid glue for this just because it gives you some time to work, because this piece here is just as wide as the cardstock we're putting it on. So you want to be sure that you're lined up properly. And so what happens too when you emboss, oh, maybe it's not, I used the wrong one. I was supposed to emboss that piece. Oh, well, easy fix. I'll show you how to fix that too. So this piece is 5 by 3 3/4. So I'm just gonna trim that down. I have glue on this side, so I'm not gonna do that one, but this one is 5. So that means our inside piece is also 5 by 3 3/4. It's supposed to be 5 1/4 by 4. I had forgotten about that. So now we're gonna try that again. There, now it lines up. Easy fix. But so what I was saying is when you emboss, when you dry emboss like this, it just shrinks the paper ever so slightly. So you might see just like a 1/16 of an inch of paper on the side there, and that's okay. That's perfectly normal. So now I'm going to take this center stripe ribbon, which has pecan pie running right down the center of it. I'm just going to roughly kind of eyeball that and then give it a little cut. And this time I'm going to go in with Stampin' Seal because I want my ribbon to stick to that. Make sure I get the corners good, and then I like to do a little X in the middle. So then what I do is I just take it and line it up and then wrap my ribbon around kind of tightly just so it stays. Then you can grab your card base, get it off of your fingers, and then just line that up like so. Take our inside piece, which is now going to look a little too small. It's okay though. It is a handmade card, right? A little small, but that's okay. If you look the other end, so that's what it looks like when it's 5 1/4 by 4. So it's totally up to you. I think they both look cute. Now I'm going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals, mini ones, if you have them. I'm trying to look. I don't think I have any. Oh, I do. I have some mini ones right here. I'm bumping the camera. But the mini ones, because just for that little wreath. And then I have some edges here. I'm just going to use those up too. Take an edge. What I mean by the edges is you get, this is from a paper pumpkin, I think, but if you look at a standard one, this is a standard mini-sized one. I have some glue dots stuck to it. You have these edges here, and I just like to cut them because they're still sticky. They still work just the same. I like to get my money's worth out of my products. I'm going to take the backing off, and then we can just stick, I kind of lined it up with this line here. Stick it right there. Grab our house, kind of over the ribbon a little bit, and then put your wreath right in the center. And then our rhinestones, I'm gonna grab my take your pick tool, and I just kind of randomly place these, but I like how the two up in the corner look, so I'm going to do that again. And then just another one down there. And that is our card. So I hope you enjoyed this card today. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me. I try to post one a week. Again, all the measurements and supplies for this project are on sassypapercrafts.com. It's the second link in the description of this video. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.